The corner of Wick Avenue and Commerce Street is relatively quiet today. A few parked cars and a few shrubs give very little indication of the structure that once stood here. But during the height of the Roaring '20s, as downtown Youngstown reached its peak, the Keith Albee Theater, better known as the Palace, opened to capacity crowds. The Palace Theater opened to wide acclaim in the spring of 1926. Its marble columns and staircase and 2,300 seats wowed audiences from opening night. The Palace also featured an exquisite art gallery on the mezzanine level. Tickets on opening night went for 35 cents for the balcony, 50 cents for the mezzanine, 75 cents for the orchestra, and $1 for intimate loge seating. The Palace initially featured vaudeville performances. The finest acts played on the theater's massive stage, the largest ever built in the Mahoning Valley. The vast complex even included stalls large enough to wash horses, which occasionally appeared in the vaudeville shows. After the popularity of vaudeville declined in the 1930s, the Palace Theater hosted Broadway roadshows and the nation's most popular big bands. Frank Sinatra played for frenzied crowds in 1941 and 1942. Glenn Miller, the most celebrated band leader of the era, brought down the house only weeks before he disbanded his orchestra and volunteered for the World War II effort. Vaughn Monroe, Hal McIntyre, Jimmy Dorsey, the Andrews Sisters, and countless others played the Palace during the swing era from 1936 to the mid-1940s. Live performances continued throughout the 1950s, including famous burlesque dancer Gypsy Rose Lee and wholesome Patti Page, who sang her smash hit, The Tennessee Waltz, for an adoring audience.
To the Tennessee Waltz.
Hip, 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 hip. Oh! You squash brain, you, what are you doing?
Picket duty.
I'll pick at you in a minute. Go on, get going. Go ahead.
The Three Stooges had locals rolling in the aisles, and the Broadway touring shows continued. South Pacific, The Country Girl, Guys and Dolls, they all played at the Palace. In 1961, William Castle's classic schlock horror film, Homicidal, made its world premiere at the Palace in Youngstown.
Excitement at Youngstown, Ohio. Swarms of customers descend on the box office of the Palace Theater as cash registers ring up record grosses. Homicidal's mixture of suspense plus showmanship add up to a picture with money written all over it. William Castle passes out certificates redeemable during a fright break for those too scared to see the suspenseful climax of Homicidal.
I think it was much better than Psycho. I saw it, my husband did.
Right, I agree.
Mr. Castle, I'd like to congratulate you on a fine piece of production. I think Alfred Hitchcock is going to have to go a long way to try and top something like this.
Well, thank you very much. That's very nice of you to say.
The Psycho-inspired picture and its gimmicky fright break brought national attention to the theater. An unfortunate series of events led to the untimely closure of the Palace and ultimately its demolition in 1966.